So, again, anything possible in the Big Ten, David, but I got to tell you, one of the calling cards of this season is that they're not alone. I mean, there's some other conferences, Big 12 comes to mind, where I feel like it's still wide open. Who else out there in terms of conferences do you think has the same scenario where you got just about everybody still in it?
I think it's the Big 12. I think you nailed it. Like everybody besides Kansas in that league could beat anybody. I mean, you saw West Virginia, who's one of the bottom. They're at the bottom tier of that league right now. They went toe-to-toe with Oklahoma. Oklahoma State's undefeated. Baylor and Oklahoma State played last week, both undefeated. It was a really good ball game. Baylor could beat anybody. I mean, I think you go through the list. You've seen Kansas State play competitive with Oklahoma already. You got Texas. You got Oklahoma. So I think that league from top to bottom, there's not going to be those easy outs. They're going to be, so when you do play your bad game or bad games throughout the season, you're going to be in a dogfight, and can you make plays? So I think the Big 12 is the most competitive league outside of Kansas.
I agree with you, and it's been fun this season to talk about the different teams and the different scenarios we might have later on because of some of the teams like Clemson not looking like the Clemson we expect. And so the Big 12 is that conference that's very interesting because we expected Oklahoma to be a really good football team, and we expected Oklahoma to be a team that we talked about in the top 4, and they haven't looked like that team. So then when you look down the stretch of the Big 12, this weekend with Oklahoma and Texas will say a lot about where that conference is going. And it's as wide open as we've seen it in recent history. And so I'm looking forward to this weekend, looking forward to seeing if Casey Thompson and Texas can keep things going and knock off of Oklahoma, who hasn't looked like the Oklahoma we expected, surprisingly, on the offensive side. They just hadn't put up the tremendous numbers and the points we've seen in past seasons.
Well, again, I think it's worth repeating. We've already had 18 unranked teams beat ranked teams, and that's left things like wide open and unexpected and all of these teams in the mix at this point in the season.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.